Mason Zero ASMR. Today I have a very special video as I am over here on my couch, which I've moved to this corner, to show you my vinyl record collection. Now, I did one of these videos about 5 years ago, and my collection has expanded a bit since then, and that video did very well. A lot of you guys liked it, so I thought I might do it again. Quick background on my vinyl collecting. Might be able to see the shelf right here in the camera, I think. I started collecting vinyl records in college, I guess. My collection is made up of ones that I bought, of course, but also from some records from my dad's collection that he had when he was younger. A few of those, and then quite a few records from the radio station that I worked at in college. There was a time when we were cleaning out old stuff, and no one was playing records, but there was a giant records room from the 80s, just shelves and shelves of records, so I took a bunch home. A lot of them have markings on them, like property of the radio station, written in Sharpie, which is unfortunate, but there's some cool stuff. Nonetheless, the records still play, and that's what matters. So I'm just going to start from the beginning, the front of the stack. And the front of the stack pretty much has all the new stuff that I've gotten. So stuff over the last few years. So if you've seen my previous video, a lot of this stuff will be new. And a lot of the stuff in the back half of the video is going to be the same stuff from that video. But if you haven't seen that one, then this will all be new to you. As usual, let me know in the comments if you have any of these records or what some of your favorite records are. Alright. This first one is one that I got just a couple weeks ago. It is a limited run of, it's a split EP between See You Space Cowboy and If I Die First. They're two modern, like, rock, emo, screamo bands. And here's the back. The cover actually has this nice paper feel. A lot of records are, the covers are more smooth, not plasticky, but, glossy. This is more of a matte finish. And the cool thing about this one is the record itself. You'll find I have many cool records that I've collected. I go out of my way to collect limited runs and special printings. So this one, should be able to see that all right. It is clear, as you may be able to see. And it has this white, milky paint and then red splatter. And the back has this heart shape with the same splatter. And actually, there's only music on this front side. So I'm going to do some light tapping on the side that doesn't have any grooves on it. I don't intend to tap too much on the records themselves, just in case. But yeah, this is only a 5-song EP. 2 songs from each band, and then one that they collaborated on together. I think there were like 500 or 1,000 or something printed. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But anyways, that is the first record. And actually, I didn't really think of where to put these when I'm done. I'll stack them over here. So that is the first one. I'm going to try to move through these at a reasonable speed or I'll be here all day. This next one is actually one I got just the other day. It's the one I was waiting for. It's the one I was waiting for in order to make this video. And it is the Apex Legends soundtrack. I'm a big fan of Apex Legends. It's probably my favorite game right now. And I know this is a limited print run. There were 2 different versions, depending on what you got printed on the vinyl. There were 500 of each, so only 1,000 total. And they sold out like within an hour. And the Apex Legends soundtrack, if you haven't heard it, is incredible. The main theme is so good. But I wanted this as a collector's piece, but honestly, I'm gonna listen to it a lot. So it has the Apex Legends logo, and then this dark red splatter on the black. And then the backside has a little bit of the red splatter, and the other Apex logo symbol. And this has the main theme, as well as the few other menu tracks. And then theme songs for all the characters up to Season 8. So they have Horizon as the last one, but they don't have Fuse, for anyone that knows the seasons and the characters, so you can kind of tell when this was made. But yeah, it has the typical Apex Legends cover on the front with Bloodhound, Wraith, and Gibraltar. Definitely one of the coolest records that I have. I don't collect too many soundtracks, but that is one of them. Okay, well, there's a lot of cool records. This one is another cool one. This is actually 4 records, I think. This is Linkin Park Hybrid Theory 20th Anniversary Collector's Edition. And this, I don't know if you can see it from here, but there are 3 smaller sleeves in here. It's a thick boy. Now these, unfortunately, don't have fancy records, but it's just cool to have this on vinyl in the first place. So we have the regular old Hybrid Theory with this one does open up, so we have some art on the inside, and then the back of the album. Just a regular black record. So very cool, fantastic album. I didn't listen to it when it first came out in 2000 because I was a bit too young at the time. But I was around. It was around 2005, 2006 that I really got into Linkin Park, and they kind of became one of my favorite bands and really got me into heavier music. And then next up we have Reanimation, which is their remix album of Hybrid Theory. And on the back we have 4 different sides, so it's actually a double album. And we've got the inside art again. And once again, these records are not printed to be special at all. They're just regular black records. Yeah. But this one is a double album because it is quite long, so we have various remixes and features and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And then lastly, we have a B-Sides and Rarities album. So this has some remixes and some live on BBC Radio and some just B-Sides, some demos, some more live bits. So, yeah, nothing too crazy on this one. And then it all comes in this nice collector's box. So, put these back. asked for this for Christmas from my wife when she was looking for gift ideas for me. So it was not a surprise. This whole thing was only like $50 though, like really good deal for 3 albums. Like a vinyl on its own usually is like anywhere from like $15 to $30 depending on who it is. Okay. Next we have No Good Left to Give by Movements. They're a pop-punk emo band that has been around for 5-ish years. I saw them live once without really knowing them very well. I knew like a song or two, but they were incredible. They were so good. So this is their most recent album. I think this is just a regular... Actually, I have no idea. I want to say it's just a regular black vinyl, but oh no, it's not. Aha, there we go. We have this pink, I don't even know what you call it. It's not quite a swirl, but it's a white and pink album. Same on both sides. I've had this for a little while, but I've only played it once. I actually kind of forgot what it looked like. But yeah, this is their most recent album. Came out in 2020. And I like it a lot. They're still a pop-punk emo band, but they have a lot more indie rock influences, I feel like, on this album. But, and then it opens up and there's the lyrics. But I wanted to support them since I've seen them once, didn't buy any merch or anything, so I figured this would be a good one to collect. And there are some very good songs on this album. I mean, every song's good. Tunnel Vision and Don't Give Up Your Ghost are very good. Very good songs. Next up we have actually one from my wife's collection. We just share a shelf. My wife has a few albums, mostly of bands that she was into in high school and then went on to collect albums. So we have Let It Enfold You by Senses Fail. I'm not sure if this was like a 10th anniversary or something like that. I have no idea. But a quintessential album for many emo kids out there. If you were into heavy music and emo music and stuff in the mid-2000s. So many good songs on this album. Of course, the title track, Let It Enfold You. I'm actually not sure what the hits from this were. Rum is for drinking, not for burning, I think was popular. And this one, I do remember, was special. Yes, we have this burnt orange, brownish look, which is very cool. Goes along with the fire theme on the front of the cover. Very nice. I didn't know about Senses Fail until I met my wife, and it was like her favorite band. I don't know how I never heard of them, but I like them quite a lot now that I'm more familiar. Next is actually one of the first vinyls that I really wanted to collect, and that is Creatures by Motionless in White. This is one of my favorite albums of all time, period. They're a horror metalcore band. This was their debut album. They actually had one album before this, but I don't know if it was, I think it was never officially released or something, but this was their first big album. If you were in the scene at the time, you may be familiar with their song Abigail, or perhaps Immaculate Misconception, or the title track Creatures. Every song on this is a certified banger, and you probably can't see it, but this is hand numbered. They printed 1,031 of these, and I'm number 296. They did a reissue of this for the 10th anniversary this last year. I think this was a printed one, but oh yeah, there we go. How could I forget? Purple with black splatter in the middle. Same on both sides. Very cool. Yeah. think this is one of the first, maybe the first vinyl I bought, and worth every penny. Favorite album of all time, easily. I've listened to this album so much, and I think it looks great. The art looks great blown up like this, and I love the look of the record. Next we have another album that I quite enjoy. It is Fever by Bullet for My Valentine. This album and Creatures each came out in 2010, which is when I was really, really diving into heavy music. And Bullet for My Valentine was another one of those bands that I hadn't really been familiar with. But I started getting into them when this album came out. A lot of people don't like this album. I think after this they started going downhill, but I like this album quite a lot. There's the band photo. And this one is actually a 2-disc album. I don't know why. I think it was just long. Long 4-minute metal songs. These are just regular black records, except for the last one. It's normal on the back, but actually or on the front, but there's actually no music on the front. And see if the light can catch this. There's a design engraved on the back where there's no music. And this is actually I have the CD of this as well. It's actually the art that's printed on the physical CD disc. So a nice little call out to that. Yes, I did buy the CD, the compact disc, if you're old enough to remember those, back in 2010. And only recently, in the last few years, got it on vinyl. I think I forgot I had this. This is Motionless in White, When Love Met Destruction. This is the EP that came out before Creatures. Wow, I actually forgot I had this. I think this was a 10th anniversary reissue. Got this very emo-looking cover. They were super emo back then. Oh man, the band photo. I don't know if you can see it, but man, so emo. I don't know if this one was special. Yeah, no, this was just a plain black record. I completely forgot that I bought this. I do think it was a 10th anniversary reissue, reprinting. Or maybe it was probably the first time ever that it was available on vinyl, actually. But yeah, not as good as Creatures, but has some very good songs on it. To Keep From Getting Burned, Ghost in the Mirror, both excellent. Very good songs on this, came out in 2009. Yeah, they're just a solid band. Next, I'm actually going to do this one first. So this is Nothing I Write You Can Change What You've Been Through by Trash Boat. This is a pop-punk band from England, the UK, whatever. And I discovered them in like 2016, 17. I'm gonna say 2016 because that's when this album came out. And I heard one song and I instantly fell in love with it. I had it on replay for a long time. So good. And so I had to buy this vinyl. Also, come on, that's so cool. It's blue with green and purple and yellow splatters throughout it. It's so cool. This is an excellent album. I recommend Strangers and How Selfish I Seem are two of the best tracks. They're the two opening tracks, actually. Produced by, or maybe not. Oh, yeah, no, produced by the singer of The Wonder Years, another very popular in the scene and influential pop-punk band. So, if they're signing off on this album, then it's going to be good. But I also have their follow-up album from Shyness. Actually, only has art on the front. It doesn't actually have the name. This was their follow-up album. Also very, very good. Both are so good. I think I like their first album a little bit better, but man, it's tough. There's some very good songs on this album. I forget. I mean, this one's probably special also. Yeah. It's probably hard to tell, but it's like a smoke gray. A little bit of orange or brown in there as well. But yeah, I love their songs. They're, they're pop punk, but they're emotional. The singer, vocalist can write songs that just speak to you. Even if you're having a great day, you can just feel those, emotions from a harder time. Even if you're not feeling them in the moment, you can reflect and look back on them. At least that's how I feel when I listen to these albums. Alright, going away from the pop punk and metal albums that we've been looking at, we have Woodstock by Portugal the Man. Portugal the Man is an indie rock band from Portland, Oregon, which is where I currently live. And I have seen them more than any other band. I think I've seen them 7, 8, 9 times. It's been quite a while since I've seen them. Now they're a little too popular and big for me to see them at a small venue that's affordable. They used to be a little bit more unknown, but especially once this album hit, they were pretty big. You may have heard Feel It Still. You've probably heard Feel It Still. If you haven't, then I don't think you've turned on a radio. But yeah, this is an excellent album. They've always been quite experimental and not quite psychedelic in some ways. This album, it's definitely a great mixture of indie rock and alternative rock, as well as a more funky, psychedelic, groovy aspect, kind of 70s influenced. I mean, even just look at this font. This, I believe, is just a regular black record, yeah. My parents actually gave me this. They bought this version, and then they ended up buying a special edition version that I think has a fancy vinyl. So they were like, hey, you want our other one? And I was like, hell yeah. So yeah, Portugal the Man, very good band. If all you know is Feel It Still, and maybe some of their other songs, I really recommend going back to, I think it came out in 2008 or 2009, their album, The Satanic Satanist. Hilarious name, but very good album. That's not even their first album, but that one's good. American Ghetto is also quite good, kind of from around 2010, so definitely recommend checking that out. This one I don't expect anyone to know. It's Believer by Chris Orlowski. Chris Orlowski is a musician from Seattle, which is where I grew up, and I probably told this story in my previous video, but he's kind of been a friend of mine over the years a little bit. I can't say we've talked recently, but we used to talk a bit. I remember the first time I saw him, I think he was playing at this just like outdoor summer thing at like a restaurant or whatever, like super small and chill. And I think I like RSVP'd to the event on Facebook or whatever and said I was excited, and maybe I think he added me on Facebook because that was normal to do back in the day, like 2010, 11, whatever. And then like during one of the songs, he like replaced a line with my name or something, and I was like, wait, what? Like it was super funny. I still to this day don't know why he did that, or like why he like called me out specifically, but he's a super nice guy, very cool. He actually just had a kid. But anyways, in college, I helped get him to play this concert outdoors that the radio station that I worked at put on. There was another guy who was a musician who actually knew him as well. So between the two of us, we worked that out. Anyways, this is his album that he released around that time. 2014. Wow. All that time. This album isn't... The record itself is just black. I think we're starting to leave the area of fancy albums, just a few more left. But this is a very good album. I haven't listened to it in a long time. It's kind of acoustic indie rock. The song, the title track, Believer, is super catchy, really good. If you want to hear some music from a smaller musician, definitely recommend that. Very Seattle sounding, all that stuff. And now we're gonna go even more obscure. Check out this super obscure album cover. No idea what it is, right? This is from a guy who no longer does music as far as I'm aware. The band was called To Stowaway. Like T-O, stowaway, to stowaway, like an action. And he is from Australia, and he came by the radio station that I worked at in college, actually during the summer, where we weren't active, but I lived right by the college. And we got together for coffee, and then he came to the station, and I interviewed him, and he played some songs and stuff, and then he gave me this record, which was super cool. And the inside, it opens up. Recorded in New Zealand. Actually, was he from New Zealand or Australia? I don't remember. I think it also is probably just a regular black record, but I actually don't remember. Okay. It looks like the album title is Rattle Your Chains. I can't say I remember too much about how it sounds. I think it was primarily acoustic, indie rock. Very good, but nothing unique, I have to admit. I mean, at this point, I listen to so much indie rock and acoustic rock that it's all the same. See, now I'm wondering if Rattle Your Chains is, the band name or I don't even know. Either way, I have good memories of this one just because that guy was super cool. We went out for coffee, had a chat, and then, interviewed. Last I heard from him, he had asked me to take down the interview and stuff because he was getting into the construction industry in Australia, and I guess they don't take too kindly to, artistic pursuits, so he wanted to scrub that from the internet. We have another of my wife's albums. This is Wolves by Rise Against. I think you probably can't see it on the camera, but right above me is a imprinted lithograph, I think. So it's like a screen printing or something of this cover, and then it has like a three-dimensional stamp. I don't know, it's interesting. She bought like a collector's pack that also came with a pin and a hoodie from this album. But this is Rise Against's most recent album, although they do have another one coming out very soon. I believe July 2021, so just a couple months away. Which my wife has already pre-ordered a special version. So I think this album got a little bit of radio play with Wolves and House on Fire and The Violence. If you don't know Rise Against, how? They're a punk rock band, most known probably for their 2006 hit song, Prayer of the Refugee. They also have several other songs that you might know. We just have a solid pink album here. Nothing too crazy. A very good album. Very, very good. Rise Against has been one of my favorite bands over the years, and one of my wife's favorite bands. So that has worked out nicely for our musical taste. For some reason, this sleeve always has a hard time getting in here. I don't know why. Yeah, if you listen to Rise Against back in the mid-2000s, definitely recommend you listen to their newer stuff. They've stayed very consistent while also being modern. And now we have their album that came out before Wolves called The Black Market. This album also very good. What might you have heard? I actually don't know what the hits from this album were, to be totally honest. But yeah, another good album. I feel like this one kind of fell off the radar, honestly, compared to their other releases. Opens up to some art and lyrics and stuff. And then I believe this one was also a special version, although... Oh, yep, looks like it. It is green. I think it has some light green-ish splatters as well, but it's green. Actually, there's a little defect here where some of the vinyl is peeking out from under the sticker in the center. It's funny. But yeah, so this is also my wife's. But, again, an album that I quite enjoy as well. Actually, I just realized there's two sleeves in here. Is there something else in here? Oh, the Rise Against logo stencil. That's hilarious. I forgot that was in there. In case you want to do any graffiti. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know what they call that, but it's like the fist inside the heart. Alright, we're not done with Rise Against though. This one's actually mine. I bought this album in college. It is their 2006 album, The Sufferer and the Witness, which is the very first time I heard Rise Against, with the song Ready to Fall, which is still a favorite of mine. It also has Prayer of the Refugee on it, which you've probably heard. And then, The Good Left Undone was also I believe, a song. This, I think, is just a regular black vinyl. Indeed. Very good album. You know, punk rock on the heavier side, but with plenty of pop choruses and stuff. Like, it's easy to listen to if you like rock music, for sure. Yeah, very good album. Next, we have another from my wife's collection, The Silence in Black and White by Hawthorne Heights, another one of those quintessential emo albums. This has Ohio is for Lovers, which you have probably heard if you were an emo kid back in the day. Good old Victory Records. And this one's probably also special. Yep, looks like this one's red. Nothing crazy, just solid red. But special nonetheless. Always cool to get additional colors other than just black. And I think, yeah, it's slightly translucent as well. I do like Hawthorne Heights. They're certainly not my favorite, but they have some very good songs, including Ohio is for Lovers, of course. Do we have another? I thought we had another Hawthorne Heights. No, it's just this one. Okay. We're nearing the end of new modern albums. This is from the band You, Me, and Everyone We Know. And the album is Party for the Grown and Sexy. I don't like this album cover, and it's actually not the original album cover. The original album cover was much more tame and less cartoony, but it's depicting, you know, a typical debauchery college party kind of thing. Actually has a Magic the Gathering. Some guy playing Magic the Gathering. I picked this up a couple years ago. It's an album that came out around 2010, I think 2008, 2007. 6. Wow, actually. And I liked this album a lot. Every song on it is very good, and it's pop punk, but it's like kind of more chill. I don't really know how to describe it, honestly. But oh, that's cool. I kind of forgot. This is a clear vinyl. It's kind of cloudy, milky, whatever, but it is clear. That's very cool. I actually forgot about that. Nice. And then we have a lyric sheet as well. Yeah, good stuff. I haven't listened to this one much on vinyl, but I listened to the heck out of the songs on this album over the years. And then it came with another of their albums, So Young, So Insane, which I actually don't even think I've listened to it. This came out in, I don't know, it doesn't say. I'm gonna guess like 2008, 2009. But these came together for whatever reason. And I assume this one is also special. Oh yes. We have a kind of rainbow tie-dye look here. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this album because I honestly haven't really listened to it. I wanted the other album, and this came with it, so just a little bonus, I guess. Very cool. Hey guys, Mason from the future here. So turns out a few minutes after this point, my camera ran out of space, and yeah, it was just kind of obnoxious. But instead of filming the rest of the video, since this video is already over 30 minutes long, I decided just to stop there after the new records, since my old video pretty much covers everything else that would have been in this video. So I just wanted to pop back in here and do a proper outro. So thank you all for watching. Please do put in the comments if you have any cool vinyl records that you like, if you have any of these ones that I have, and if you liked any of them. I think I have some pretty cool ones, especially just because they're, they have the fancy pressings and colors and whatnot. So thank you so much for watching. I know I haven't been super consistent with videos, but this is one I've been wanting to do for a while. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one, whenever that is, and thank you so much for watching. Good night.